Hello everybody and welcome or welcome back to my channel, the place where we make fun of the morons we see out here on the road. A bit like this dangerous plank whose list of previous offences probably reads like a Star Wars filmed credits scrolling down. Or maybe this muppet in the Range Rover who changes lanes like a florist changes their price list just before Valentine's Day. Or maybe this escaped circus chimpanzee who's learnt to drive, doing his best to cut this truck up, smash his car up and end up in hospital in traction, eating his food through a straw for the next 6 months. Here's a good one from Roger V. Look at this woman backing out. She's displaying all the mental ability of a concussed field mouse there. She's looking left and right and everywhere apart from behind her as she just hits the car straight in the side, and then she does a face palm for us to save us doing it ourselves. When you're reversing, look behind, eh? This from Paul. Now, we all get pissed off sitting at red traffic lights, don't we? Well, when you've got the mental stability of a one-legged Zimmer frame, what do? You just drive on the pavement around the red light. No offence committed. You haven't driven through a red light, have you? What an absolute pilchard. This from Glenn, and as you'll see, for some, acting intelligently and stopping at a zebra crossing when people are actually walking across it is completely optional. If stupidity were paper, that donut would be a library. On board with Tony B, and someone who never has to wait for anything, not man, nor beast, not vehicle, is this real offline printer driving a black Range Rover with the black windows of belligerence, of course. But what's really amazing, for all his efforts, all his speed, where did he get? One car in front. What a melt. This from Retro Future, and nothing quite says, I like to put my hand down the front of my underpants and play pocket billiards with myself various times throughout the day, like pulling across a car was coming across the junction in front of me. Now, we all know that size doesn't matter, don't we? But when it comes to giving way to stop you smashing your motor up and keeping your no claims bonus, yes it does. This from Clackstars dashcam on YouTube. Now, you can always tell when a driver is really observant and very careful by the way he just pulls out straight in front of an oncoming vehicle. That's exactly how you tell. That unstuffed scarecrow what was driving that black Mercedes is to intelligence what condensation is to a camera lens. Not good news. On board with Badco 14 from YouTube, and he was almost another victim of the 4 circles of privilege there. You could tell that driver reached into the box of intelligence and sadly it was empty. This from Pamela. Now, nothing quite says that you're pretty low capacity and you've got a fridge magnet IQ, like getting a pedestrian crossing confused with a zebra crossing and just driving straight through when the people have walked across. This from Ken J. And the driver of the little black car, his interpretation of mirror signal manoeuvre is just signal and manoeuvre simultaneously in what mirror? And the truck driver's interpretation of that was get the fuck out of my lane, you doofus. That was certainly a little bit of a naughty manoeuvre by that truck driver there, would you lot reckon? Okay, so from looking at a truck to being on board one with Urban John. Now, we all know about the rules of the roundabout. You give way to traffic from the immediate right that's on the roundabout. But this non-reading helmet in the white van seems to have forgotten all about that, and he was almost about to pull him out in front of him, but he thought better of it. You just know that if John was on a bike, he would have just pulled out anyway. And there's a prime example of that from Tony 1955. This Porsche driver displaying all the intelligence of pond life just pulls straight out in front of him. Didn't even look, didn't even bat an eyelid. So from a Porsche driver with the intelligence of pond life to a cretin in a coach who's got the IQ of plankton, nearly ends that cyclist and has a head-on collision with that little tanker truck there. If that coach driver gets any less intelligent, he'll need watering twice a week. Now, when it comes to letting people know if you're intelligent and normal or you're a low-capacity cupcake, nothing is quite as definitive as being on the right-hand side and then just pulling to the left without looking and hitting the car what's next to you. They walk and drive amongst us, people. Now, I apologise as the quality of this clip is pretty poor, but not as poor as the parenting skills of the so-called parent that's meant to be looking after this child who's just meandering in the middle of the road at night. Unbelievable. Now we're on board with Colin M in his 44-tonne truck on a very congested motorway, as you can see. Now keep your eye on this real blank spreadsheet who's driving this grey car on the right there. And just like a lot of the proper garden tools we see out here on the road, he sits in the outside lane till the last minute and then has to get over quickly to the near side lane to get off the exit slip road. Then to put the cherry on the cake, forces his way in front of that truck with a little trailer and almost comes to a complete standstill on the near side lane. He is to intelligence what chronic flatulence is to a long-haul flight. Here's Ken J again. This time he's behind a real bottom feeder in a white Prius. Now he's obviously not paying attention. Doesn't even notice the kid what stepped into the road. Clips him with a mirror. And then, because his brain functions as well as a cardboard diver's snorkel, what's he do? He just keeps going. Unbelievable. Now, I don't know about you, but I've come to the conclusion that you've got more chance of teaching a brick how to swim than teaching some of these crayon eaters how to drive properly, a bit like that melt there, just pull straight out in front of a truck on a roundabout. Seriously? Here we go, an Uber in a black Toyota Prius at night. Yeah, that's a safe combination, isn't it? And then just sit back and watch as Captain Clueless here displays the navigational ability of a compass in a magnet factory. What a plum. Now, nothing quite says I enjoy watching the Kardashians with my favourite blow-up doll, and I've only got one tree for my hammock, like coming out of a turning, carry on turning, and just end up down in the ditch. Surely some people must come to a point in life when they just say, driving just ain't for me. Here's Bear going down through this industrial estate. Now, we all know that when a car or motorcycle is driven or ridden dangerously, it can literally be a weapon. But what's more dangerous is when a motorcyclist has got weapons-grade stupidity, they ride on the wrong side of the road and nearly pull out in front of a car. Dear oh dear. Now, when it comes to showing the world that you've got the mental ability of a sedated sloth, or you've got the spatial awareness of a concussed goldfish, nothing rivals ramming a cyclist that is directly in front of you for no reason at all. Trust me, if you do that, everybody around you will know that you're a backwards window licker and you've got a brain that functions as well as a tissue crash helmet. Now, staying on the theme of letting everyone around you know that you're a real thick shake and you're as mentally stable as a penguin on stilts, nothing achieves that like speeding for a red light on the wrong side of the road. What a pair of backwards delinquents. This from Ross R, and nothing quite says, I'm as confused as a fart in a colander, not knowing which hole to come out of, and I look like a massive Joe Blunt who's all over the place because I'm driving whilst I'm messing around with my phone. If stupidity was metal, that right there is a Titanic. Here we are with Kevin R on the M25. Now keep your eye where that red arrow is. That's pointing to the exit slip road, because what you're about to see is some real burnt out light bulb driving his van down here on the wrong way, about to join the M25. Now, if that's the sort of space cadets they got working on HS2 and pulling these sort of strokes, it's no wonder it's gone about 20 billion over budget and it's going to be about a decade late. You can just imagine the project managers for HS2 on the phone now, busy ordering up more gas-powered drills and square-wheeled wheelbarrows. God help us. Guys, if you like what you've seen so far and I put a smile on your face, can you do me a favour and just hit that little like and subscribe button down below if you haven't done it already, that is? Thank you very much. Right, let's have a look at some 2 brain cell morons. Okay, so first out the gate, we got this little offering from Kaha. Keep your eye on this empty pillowcase-headed individual on the line bike there, because he's about to give us a demonstration of skill, grace and stupidity that could only be matched by a sumo wrestler in a pole vaulting competition. Let's have another look. Here he goes. All he needs to do is pull the brakes slightly and he'll come to a stop. But because he's got an IQ that matches a 5-year-old shoe size, that task is virtually impossible for such a person, and he goes down like a lead parachute. Now, nothing quite says I'm the sort of person that would take a mobile phone onto a submarine and I should still have stabilisers on my bike, like swerving into the path of an oncoming truck in a tunnel. And now the plank's got to walk because the inside of his lycra shorts resemble a molten lava cake. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the Tour de France, this is a Tour de Dance. And as you can see, we're following a massive dance. He doesn't know how to get round the corner and brake, but he does know how to go head first over a wall. Here we go with the steward's inquiry. Now, at this moment in time, he knows he's overcooked it. He's going too fast. There's no way he can save this. He's filled with panic at this moment, and because of that, his sphincter muscle is clenching like there's no tomorrow. That causes his leg to stiffen up and come off the pedal. He's gone over the handlebars. He's touching the wall, and at the same time, he's touching cloth. Hasta la vista, baby. And just to put your mind at ease, after half a pack of wet wipes and some clean lycra shorts, he was on his way. Here we go, here's Percy Peloton and friends out for a little afternoon ride in. And the main thing is when you're riding in a group, you want to keep your eyes on the road. Like what's directly in front of you is the most important place to be looking. But Percy never got the memo about that and he goes down like a lead parachute with nothing injured other than his pride. Now this is a prime example of all the gear and no idea. He's got the bike, he's got the gear, he's got the crash helmet, he's just got no idea how to jump a bike. Don't turn the handlebars when you land or your front wheel will give out like a sumo wrestler's deck chair and you will end up in the dirt. When you want to give a room a bit of character, you buy a house plant, but when you want to laugh, you watch a face plant. Let's have another look again. If it's nice, we play it twice. Look at this. Front wheel sinks into the puddle. He goes over the handlebars. face straight into the water and the mud there, just the way we like to see it. That's a real man there. He drinks his mud straight. No mixers, no ice, no nothing. Just how it's meant to be. Well, that's it for this one, everybody. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. I put a playlist there on the right if you want to watch some more of my videos. Thanks very much to everyone who sent in clips. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.